Welcome back to my channel, Celebes. Please share and subscribe and press the bell icon for new updates. He was huge. Barbra Streisand tells us everything in her book about her life. Barbra Streisand was born Barbara Jones Streisand on April 24, 1942 in Brooklyn, New York. She started from very poor beginnings in a working-class neighborhood. Streisand became famous all over the world because she had an amazing voice, great acting skills, and she never gave up. She grew up without her dad, who died when she was just 15 months old. Because of this, she learned to take care of herself and work hard from a very young age. Her mom, Diana, knew her daughter could sing really well, but she wanted her to get a safer job. But Streisand really wanted to be in show business. She started singing in talent shows and small clubs when she was a teenager. Streisand's career really started in the early 1960s when she began singing in small clubs in New York City's Greenwich Village. People loved her special voice and the way she sang with so much feeling. Her big break came in 1962 when she went on The Tonight Show and The Ed Sullivan Show. TV viewers loved her unique mix of powerful singing and deep emotions. This led to her first Broadway show in I Can Get It For You Wholesale in 1962. She played Miss Marmalstein and got amazing reviews. She even got nominated for a Tony Award, which was incredible for a 20-year-old who was just starting out. Her music career took off with her first album, the Barbra Streisand album, in 1963. It showed off her perfect timing, wide singing range, and dramatic style. The album won 2 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. This made her the youngest person ever to win that award at the time. This was the start of an amazing music career. She would make more than 35 albums, sell over 150 million records around the world, and become one of the best-selling female singers ever. Her versions of songs like People, The Way We Were, and Evergreen became timeless hits that everyone still knows. Besides her music success, Streisand became a famous actress known for playing characters that felt real and exciting. Her first movie, Funny Girl, in 1968 won her an Academy Award for Best Actress. She was one of the few people to win an Oscar for their very first movie role. She kept making great movies like Hello, Dolly in 1969, What's Up, Doc? The Way We Were in 1973, and A Star is Born in 1976. Streisand also made history as the first woman to write, produce, direct, and star in a big movie with Untold in 1983. This was a huge achievement that inspired many other women in the entertainment business. Her accomplishments weren't just in music and movies. Streisand has always fought for social justice, women's rights, protecting the environment, and keeping our democracy strong. She has used her fame and money to help many charities. In 1986, she started the Streisand Foundation to give money to groups that work on voter education, civil liberties, and climate change awareness. Her willingness to speak up about political and social issues has made her known not just as a great entertainer, but also as someone who cares about helping others. Throughout her career, Streisand has won almost every major award in entertainment. She has 2 Academy Awards, 10 Grammy Awards, 5 Emmy Awards, a Tony Award, a Special Tony Award, a Presidential Medal of Freedom, and the American Film Institute's Life Achievement Award. These honors show not only her amazing talent, but also her ability to keep changing and growing while staying true to her artistic vision. She is one of the few performers to achieve EGOT status. That means winning an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. This shows how versatile and excellent she is across different types of entertainment. In 1980, Barbra Streisand reached another big milestone in her amazing career with the album Guilty. This album became one of her most successful and long-lasting works. This project was special because she worked with Barry Gibb from the Bee Gees. His unique songwriting style and harmonies worked beautifully with Streisand's powerful and emotional voice. The album had both slow love songs and upbeat pop songs, all with the polished production and disco style that Gibb was famous for. Both critics and fans loved it, and it won Streisand a Grammy Award and made her a pop music icon in the 1980s. The title song, Guilty, which she sang with Barry Gibb, became a big hit. It reached #3 on the Billboard Hot 100 that same year. Its sultry sound, unforgettable chorus, and the vocal chemistry between Streisand and Gibb made it a radio favorite and a song that fans still love today. In 1991, Streisand took a deep look back at her own artistic journey by releasing Just for the Record. This was a huge 4-disc collection that worked as both a look back and a treasure chest for her biggest fans. It wasn't just a simple greatest hits collection. The set included live performances, rare studio recordings, and lots of previously unreleased material from decades of her career. The collection was carefully put together, almost like an audio autobiography. It gave listeners a complete and personal look at how she grew as an artist. It included honest moments from her earliest days, powerful performances from her legendary concerts, and alternate versions that showed her perfectionist approach to making music. For many fans, Just for the Record was more than just an album. It was a masterpiece that preserved the depth, range, and emotional honesty of Streisand's work for future generations. After taking an 8-year break from acting, during which she focused mainly on her music, charity work, and directing, Streisand returned to the big screen in 2004 with the comedy Meet the Focker. In the film, she played Ross Focker, a free-spirited, very open-minded sex therapist and mother opposite Dustin Hoffman as her equally uninhibited husband. Her performance was widely praised for its warmth, humor, and perfect comedic timing. The film's huge box office success introduced her to a new generation of moviegoers. The Fonzens' portrayal of Roz was so well received that she played the role again in the film's sequels, Meet the Parents and Little Fockers, bringing her unique charm and wit to each movie. These roles showed a lighter, more playful side of her acting range, proving that even after decades in the entertainment industry, she could still surprise audiences. In 2012, Streisand once again showed her extraordinary stamina and star power when she went on the Barbra Live tour. This was a series of high-profile concerts that proved again that she was one of the greatest live performers in history. One of the most talked-about performances of the tour took place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York, her home, Barrow. The event was a triumphant homecoming, and Streisand delivered an unforgettable 3-hour show filled with her greatest hits, personal stories, and emotional tribute. The concert attracted many famous guests, including legendary filmmaker Woody Allen, acclaimed actor Michael Douglas, fashion icon Donna Karan, and celebrated designer Ralph Lauren. All of them came to witness the magic of her live performance. For the audience, it was more than just a concert. It was a cultural event, a rare chance to experience the artistry, elegance, and sheer vocal brilliance of a woman who had been captivating audiences for over 50 years. Barbra Streisand's personal life has been as interesting and complex as her famous career, marked by 2 important marriages that happened during very different times of her life. Her first marriage was to actor Elliot Goode, a rising Hollywood star known for his unconventional charm and offbeat screen presence. The couple got married on September 13, 1963, at a time when Streisand's career was just beginning to take off. And Goode was also making a name for himself, stage and screen. Their marriage was initially celebrated as a pairing of 2 ambitious and talented young performers who seemed to share a deep understanding of the pressures and excitement of the entertainment industry. However, despite their shared passions, the demands of their rapidly rising careers and the stress of living under constant public attention began to hurt their relationship. After almost 6 years together, they announced their separation on February 12, 1969. This decision surprised many of their fans. The divorce was finalized on July 6, 1971, marking the end of a relationship that had been both professionally and personally important for Streisand. From their marriage came their only child, Jason Goode, born on December 29, 1966. Jason would later follow in his parents' footsteps into the entertainment world, not only pursuing acting and singing, but also appearing alongside his mother as her on-screen son in the 1991 film, The Prince of Tides. This was a touching collaboration that blended real-life family ties with fictional drama, this time with actor James Brolin, a man celebrated for his rugged good looks, commanding presence, and steady career in film and television. They married on July 1, 1998, in a private yet highly publicized ceremony that attracted media attention worldwide. This happened not only because of Streisand's enduring celebrity, but also because the couple seemed to represent a mature and grounded form of romance. Unlike her first marriage, this union took place during a period when Streisand was already a firmly established legend, giving her a different perspective on partnership and the balance between personal and professional life. The two have no biological children together, but their blended family is large and close-knit. Brolin brought 3 adult children from his previous marriages into the relationship, 2 sons from his first marriage, including Josh Brolin, who has gone on to become a highly respected and acclaimed actor in his own right, and a daughter from his second marriage. Streisand has embraced her role as a stepmother, forming meaningful bonds with Brolin's children while maintaining a loving partnership with her husband that has lasted for more than 2 decades. Their relationship, often described as warm, supportive, and filled with humor, stands as proof of finding lasting companionship later in life. In her sprawling, deeply personal memoir, a book that spares few details about her decades in the spotlight, Barbra Streisand devotes an unexpectedly honest and strikingly memorable passage to her thoughts about actor Robert Redford. He was a man she both admired professionally and, it seems, regarded with a kind of awestruck fascination. With her typical frankness, Streisand recalls the first time she truly saw him, not merely as the all-American golden boy of Hollywood lore, but as a presence, a force that seemed to fill the room in a way that went beyond physical size. He was massive, she writes, the capital letters practically jumping from the page. This was not simply a comment on height or build, but on a larger-than-life quality, an energy that radiated from him like a spotlight. She describes the moment almost like a movie scene, the sharp cut of his jawline, the sun-warmed color of his skin, and the unmistakable steadiness in his eyes that could shift from playful charm to unwavering intensity in an instant. Streisand admits that she had been aware of Redford for years before they ever met in person. Like the rest of America, she had watched him rise to the highest levels of movie stardom through films like Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and The Way We Were, a movie they famously starred in together, a pairing that she confesses initially made her nervous. I'd heard all the stories, she writes, tales of Redford's quiet reserve, his unwillingness to engage in Hollywood gossip, his preference for privacy over publicity. She wondered how their personalities would work together, her own open book honesty versus his watchful restraint. But that first meeting, she recalls, shattered every preconceived notion she had. It was like standing in front of a living monument, she says. You can't quite believe they're real until they're right there in front of you, looking at you. What Streisand makes clear in her retelling is that Redford's massive quality was not about intimidation. It was about presence. She paints a vivid picture of their early rehearsals on The Way We Were, where he would stand beside her during a quiet scene, speaking barely above a whisper, yet commanding the attention of every person in the room. He didn't have to try, she notes. He just was. In her memoir, she humorously contrasts this with her own style, quick-witted, analytical, and prone to dissecting a moment until she had mined it for every nuance. Redford, in her words, had an economy of motion, a way of letting silence do the talking. This difference in their approaches, she explains, was part of what made their on-screen chemistry so powerful, her intensity crashing against his calm, her vulnerability meeting his quiet strength. Streisand also confides that Redford's mystique extended beyond the movie set. Off-camera, he had a way of slipping into the background at social events, never needing to be the loudest voice in the room. Yet, when he did speak, people leaned in, hanging on his every word. She describes him as a man built out of contradictions, rugged yet refined, warm yet guarded, effortlessly charismatic yet deeply private. She recalls one dinner they shared during filming where he told a simple, understated story about fishing in Utah and somehow made it sound like a parable about life, risk, and patience. It was infuriating, she jokes in the book, how someone could be that good-looking, that talented, and also that interesting. By the end of the chapter, it becomes clear that Streisand's "he was massive" remark is less about the literal and more about the metaphorical, about the way certain people occupy emotional and psychological space in our memories. Redford, for her, was one of those rare figures whose impact is difficult to capture in mere work. She closes the passage with a kind of wistful admiration, acknowledging that while they were never romantically linked, the connection they shared through their work left an indelible mark on her career and her sense of what true screen partnership could be. Robert was like a mountain, she writes in one of her most lyrical moments. Solid, unshakable, and once you've stood in the shadow of a mountain, you never forget it.